What's up, everybody? It's your cool bro Niko, and I'm here with MCST Sports to talk about the biggest news, in my opinion, that has occurred in the NBA probably this season, outside of the blockbuster trades, but I'm talking about on the management side. Jason Kidd was fired by the Bucks. I know, it's unbelievable, but what's even more interesting is how many people are trying to justify it or rationalize it. In my opinion, it's one of the most horrible moves ever made by a GM or an owner. And as you all know, the NBA and the East specifically doesn't have a shortage of dumb moves. Now, the Bucks owner feels as if their record of 20-17 is not good enough, and he may have a good reason to feel that way, because we all know that the Bucks are indeed underachieving given all the talent they have on the team. However, there are some extenuating circumstances in this particular case that I think we should observe. First, let's just look at the simple fact that everywhere Jason Kidd goes, no matter if he is a player or a coach, they end up being a playoff team. Let's look at his situation with the Nets. As you know, being a startup team is extremely hard. Being a new coach on a startup team is even harder. Being a new coach on a startup team with a veteran cast of Lopez, Gerald Wallace, and Joe Johnson is even more difficult. And yet, Jason Kidd managed to take them to the playoffs every single year with absolutely no bench, and I'm sure you all remember that. Now, let's look at his tenure on... Oh, by the way, after he left, they became utterly trash. Now, let's look at his tenure on the Knicks. If you all remember, we were the second seed whenever Jason Kidd was on the floor, because he was essentially the player coach. Hell, as well as we played that year, if you all remember, that was the same year that J.R. Smith, J.R. Swish, ended up becoming sixth man of the year. That was the year that Carmelo Anthony won his scoring championship. We were playing the best that we had ever played because Jason Kidd was there to diffuse things. He was there to keep J.R. Smith calm. He was there to help Carmelo take the good shots. He was coaching on the floor. What happened after we left, or after Jason Kidd left? We got obliterated. Not only from actual basketball and competition standpoint, but we internally combusted. So, why on earth the Bucks would think that it was a wise idea to fire Jason Kidd is beyond me. But maybe they think it's because of the losing record. I wonder if they've ever considered this fact, and I wonder if anybody else has as well. Eric Bledsoe. Now, rumor has it that this is a trade that Jason Kidd did not want. He did not want to give up Greg Monroe because that gives you a significantly smaller bench. And you have to move someone out of the starting lineup, which was Eric Brogdon, and because of that, Malcolm Brogdon, and because of that, you lose a lot of length because Malcolm Brogdon is about 6'5", 6'6". It worked with the system. Eric Bledsoe comes into the starting lineup. Eric Bledsoe, since he's gotten to the Bucks, is shooting only 44%. He's averaging 30% from three, shooting 5 threes a game. Now, if you see the point differential in the losses for the Bucks, you can tell that it's not that much. Most of the time, they're losing by 2, 4, maybe 6. Very rarely they lose by more than that. That's probably because, well, Eric Bledsoe takes bad shots, and he's actually notorious for this. You don't shoot 44% and then 30% from three, and then expect everything to remain all willy-nilly. Because, well, let's face it, the Bucks are one of the most efficient teams in the NBA. Granted, Giannis doesn't take a lot of threes, but that's pretty smart on his behalf, because why would you take threes if you know you're not good at them yet? Now think about it like this. You've already given up a lot of length by putting in Eric Bledsoe over Malcolm Brogdon. Now you've moved Malcolm Brogdon, who is not a perennial scorer, to the bench, and you've taken away a great scorer who used to be a starter in Greg Monroe off the bench. The bench dropped in shooting percentage to about close to 43 when it was at 45%. And for a bench that doesn't score that much, that could be considered a pretty big drop off. That's about 6 to 8 points a game, the point differential that the Bucks are currently losing at. Crazy how small numbers add up. But more importantly, the defense is where they're going to be hurt the most. When you have a starting lineup where your shortest player is 6'5" or 6'6", that is a hard team for anybody to beat. And when you inject Eric Bledsoe into that, not only do you have to remesh offensively, but you have to gain rhythm defensively as well, because we all know that now the NBA is a team defense game. Now, also, Eric Bledsoe is taking about 16 to 17 shots a game. That takes the ball out of Giannis's hand a lot, people. And then he's taking the ball out of Giannis's hand, and he's being nowhere near as efficient as Giannis is, who is shooting about 56% for the season right now. So you take the ball out of the superstar's hand, and then when I finally give you the ball, you're shooting about 13 to 14% less efficient. That's not good. Or excuse me, not 13 to 14, 12 to 13. That's still a lot though, all right? That's a lot in NBA terms. So now every time you take a bad shot, you're not as good of a defender. Our starting lineup was better on team defense, so they're giving the other team more fast breaks, more easy points, and the other teams are also becoming more efficient as they score against us because your bad shots are getting them easy baskets. When Giannis is the ball dominant player, they're not getting long rebounds because Giannis isn't taking 3-pointers. 1. 2, he's efficient when he is the ball dominant player. His usage rate has gone down significantly, and like I said, it's not like the Bucks are getting blown out. They're not getting blown out. Their point differential is between 6 to 8 points. Why? Because that small change is a big deal, and you can't really blame Jason Kidd for that. Also, like I said, Jason Kidd's resume speaks for itself, but probably more importantly, when your superstar, people, tells you, I want this coach to stay, you all need to hash this out. Your super, yeah, granted, they did just re-sign Giannis for a steal, like $120 million. However, you want him happy so he doesn't demand a trade. Also, we haven't gotten Jabari Parker back yet either. So clearly, there were a lot of extenuating circumstances to Jason Kidd's situation. But let's also be very clear. In my humble opinion, the Bucks were not built to be the quote-unquote best team in the East. They were built to beat LeBron. That's why they're built the way they are. You want to be fast and, well, long. That's the only way you can win. We've seen big teams give LeBron trouble. This is actually the same reason I give the edge to OKC to win the championship, which is another discussion that I have in a different video. But overall, I think they made a horrible mistake, and it is a mistake that's going to come back and bite them in the ass. This is why organizations like the Bucks seemingly never win a championship, because they make brash decisions based off of, oh, we've been consistently good. Like, your players are 22, 23, 24 years old. Eric Bledsoe might be the oldest player in the starting lineup right now. Don Maker has not come into his own yet. So there's a lot that could have changed positively for them, and I think they should have waited. You don't see teams make blockbuster moves like that. until after the All-Star break. I'm interested to see who they're going to look up. I think there's a chance they may get Luke Walton, because I truly believe, and you heard it here first, if Jason Kidd is available and somebody else doesn't take him up, which I don't think the Lakers will give him a chance to, I think that they will fire Luke Walton, randomly, let's just say, and go pursue Jason Kidd. Now, why would they do that? Well, maybe because Jason Kidd managed to turn a 7-foot small / power forward into a point guard extraordinaire who is absolutely unstoppable. He is a freak of nature, hence the nickname Greek Freak. That could have something to do with it. So they have they're going to have the option of Luke Walton. They potentially could hire Coach Fizdale, who would also be a great choice. Mark Jackson as well, who was kind of a people's player. But Jason Kidd clearly brings a unique dynamic wherever he goes. And I think that that's going to be severely missed in the Bucks, because, like I said, the resume is what it is for a reason. Every team he ends up on is in the playoffs instantaneously, and after he leaves, they are trash. Now, I'm not saying the Bucks are going to be trash, but I think that they have just prolonged their wait to get a ring for even longer. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Check out the rest of our sports video on the playlist for sports. And thank you for tuning in. I am your bro, Niko, and you are listening to MCSC Sports. Peace.